Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight, Friday, the 7th of November 2014. This is John FARACLAS from Allaboutshipping.co.uk on our 43rd weekly recapitulation of the shipping indexes and the world geopolitics affecting sale. The Baltic Dry Index closed up just 1 point at 1437, which on the other hand is up 9 points since last week, where of a mysterious up and down turning of the market affecting the general index. The capers with the respective BCI index closed up at 3,661 points, which is up 49 points since yesterday and 109 since last week's closing. The Panamaxes and the respective BPI index were down 22 points at 1183, which is also down 50 points since last week's closing. We reiterate the view that Panamax is the size to watch. Not so much volatility like the capers, not so stagnation like the BSI and the BHSI. The BSI closed down 5 points at 881, which is 11 points down since last week's closing. And the BHSI was also down 1 point at 454, which is 13 points since last week. So all in all, volatility is here to stay. The big sizes, they make waves in 66.99, but the smaller ones, they don't. The wets now, a totally different view. The dirty ones, with the respective BTTI index, was up 8 points since the last closing, but also it was up 235 points since the closing of last Friday. Not the same situation in the cleans. The BCTI closed down 8 points at 722 since the last reference we made, and it was also down 19 points since last Friday. So, all in all, the market is still far away, 35.9%, 810 points down since the closing we had on the end of December 2013, which was standing at 2,247 points. So even if the market goes above the 2,000 or even equals the last closing, it has been a very bad year. If the market turns down more, or even if it stayed the same, it will be a reconfirmed, if you like, annus horribilis for the markets. The world stage now. On the world stage now, we had some issues which is of major importance. The most important one is the Ebola, and we have also the charity side of it with Cole, a soccer player from the Hammers, the West Ham United, making a campaign to assist the victims of Ebola as his mother comes from Sierra Leone. On the other hand, the WBB doctors mentioned that there has been a slowdown in Liberia. We are waiting to see, but still are early days. A very difficult situation overall. Ukraine. Russia is being accused that her tanks have entered the Ukrainian territory. We shall wait and see what will happen now in stage 3. There's a long way. I have personally divided the Ukrainian crisis in 10 stages. We are now at stage 3. Don't ask me further, just try to work it on yourselves. Now, the Middle East, an area very close to Europe, like Ukraine, where we have complications and dangers there. The Israelis, they said that those who are naughty from the other side, their houses will be razed down. We have to wait and see what is going on. But the most important issue is not there, Israel and Palestine, it's ISIS, and there's a long way to go there. Libya, same situation, and we eagerly wait to see what's going to happen. Europe, Chancellor George Osborne thinks that and believes he has gained ground here. There's a postponement of the 1.7 billion pounds to be paid in the European coffers, and let's wait and see how he'll be tackled by his counterparts in Europe. Very difficult days all over Europe now, with financial situations trying the public and the politicians. Greece. The polls are giving a minimum of 4% lead to the opposition Syriza and its man Tsipras. But of course, let's not forget that in 1981, the same situation with the famous Greek socialist led by Andreas Papandreou brought the country into ruins. And we repeat this. Of course, New Democracy has to be blamed. The blame stands, ladies and gentlemen, 20% against New Democracy and 80% for PASOK for bringing Greece to this terrible situation. The friends of Greece and the Greek people should make sure we get rid of these politicians, because, I mean, Mr. Samaras must make or break. He hasn't proven this yet. He's lagged behind Mr. Tsipras. So there is here, despite the fact that in his personal polls against Mr. Tsipras he scores higher, but his party is only close to 60, maximum 70 MPs if we have elections this Sunday, whilst on the other hand, Mr. Tsipras is approaching or has already 150 MPs in a parliament of 300. Very interesting days. The best solution now, we have to repeat it, is all 300 MPs go home. And the Greek Aristi, the Ariston of the Greek society, of the Greek people, come to power and save the day. You need two in a tango. So we have the enemies of Greece from abroad supporting now Mr. Tsipras. Is evidently this, and on the other hand, they're trying to retain in power Mr. Samaras and his coalition with PASOK. So fair is fair. This is not a state of affairs in Greece. It was very interesting, of course, to see the good side of Greece, which is shipping and tourism. And later on, we will refer to the successes of Greece in tourism at the World Travel Market and the excellent performance of the respective ministers, Olga Kefalogianni and Mr. Livadas, the Secretary General of the Greek National Tourist Organization. But this is an exception. We need changes all over the country to all sectors. We can do this. The rest of Europe in a financial mess, as we have said, and we're waiting to see what is going to happen. In the Far East, the Hong Kong still is in our sight, and of course some glimpse of hope, let's hope really, between China and Japan over the islands dispute there, the Aoyu Islands for the Chinese, the Senkaku Islands for the Japanese is there, so we'll wait to see what will happen. Of course, you never know, things can turn overnight, and that's not, something to be ruled out. Japan will not back off. Coming to more interesting things, if you like, and more happy things, the 4th annual International CSR Shipping and Offshore Conference of Capital Link in London was one of the best successful ever events at One Moorgate Place at the Institute of Chartered Accountants for England and Wales. In this great event, amongst others, we had the award of leadership in the CSR awarded to Secretary General Emeritus of the IMO, Admiral Mitropoulos. He was introduced by Spiros Polemis, one member of the Greek Golden Team of 5 who was heading the International Shipping Federation and the International Chamber of Shipping at a time when Mr. Mitropoulos was the Secretary General of the IMO, Mr. Fistes, the head of Intertanko, Mr. Papadakis, the head of Intercargo. It was a great time for Greece and the Greek shipping people. It was really great to be there, and we'll wait to see the results. All the speakers, they gave their best there, and I'm sure that one of the speeches by Christian von Osterhausen, the business development manager of DNVGL, was one of the greatest speeches. Great performance by the moderator and a man who gives everything for everything in these circumstances, Clay Maker. We will read in other pages, and you can see in allaboutshipping.co.uk what really happened at Capital Link's 4th Annual International Maritime and CSR Offshore Conference. Now, Double Jeopardy, reprised at King's Theatre in London last Monday, was one of BIMCO's ever best events, an event that should be repeated in all maritime capitals. The World Travel Market 2 on the same day last Monday, the 3rd of November, was great. Greece surpassed it, smashing all records with 22 million tourists this year. It was something that we have to mention, and as earlier on, we are not accusing what what is going on in Greece, we are making constructive Aristotelian criticism of the people that here and now, as we speak, this very moment, now means something without duration, and here we are. We have to end the duration of people who spoil Greece and conversely Europe and the world. It's time. Go home. It's enough. Finally, we have the ever successful event, the 39th IMIF, International Maritime Industry Forum dinner at the SSA Radisson, with iconic Jim Davis at one of his best days, performing as usual his duties as head of one of the world's most important organizations, associations, group of people of all types of the shipping industry. Now, Intermodal is under portas on Tuesday, the 11th of November at Rotterdam Ahoy, and in 3 days the world can see, particularly the Europeans, the latest on intermodalism. The Gat Wallader's Memorial Lecture is coming up, with the London Shipping Law Centre organizing same on the 25th of November, and I'm sure you have managed to get a seat. On another tone, the tip for holidays is the Bahamas, an area in the Caribbean for the affluent but also for the masses. It's still affordable. Plan to go now there. The climate is excellent, not so hot as you might anticipate, but great. So, after a week, of course, the Poppy Week and Gay Folks Night, we wish you to have a nice weekend. Be on guard with what happens around, and be on guard also against the terrorists who are like to spoil our lives. Last night, in London and Buckinghamshire, there were arrests of terrorists. They were planning something terrible, but thanks to the authorities, they were arrested. Let's be on guard. This is John FARACLAS from allaboutshipping.co.uk in London. Have a lovely weekend.